Dear parents and community, welcome to another family engagement broadcast from HES Academies. And with me in the studio is Omnia Abdullah, Program Coordinator at Leaders Advancing and Helping Communities LAHC. And Mami Yara Mbaki, welcome. This is the first time on our live program. We would like to introduce you to our parents. You work with LAHC, and you will be presenting some of the programs that you're working on with LAHC that will benefit the community. After the presentation of Omnia on building self-worth and confidence, both in Arabic and English, I will have few announcements for you, so stay tuned. Without further ado, Omnia and Mami from LAHC.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Mamjara Mbaike, and I'm the Community Outreach Coordinator here at LAHC. And as you may know, LAHC provides a lot of educational and social services to the community with programs that serves children, youth, adults, and seniors. And right now we're trying to expand our programs to include moms and infants. And that's why we're conducting a needs assessment on infant and maternal health. We're intending, for this assessment, we want to learn more about the experiences that new and expectant moms goes through in those who are like planning to be pregnant with the healthcare system during their prenatal and postnatal during their prenatal and postnatal period. We want to hear about the type of pre and postnatal services and resources available to new mom and expectant moms before, during, and after pregnancies. After pregnancy, what resources they wish they had, some of the challenges that they face in trying to access these resources, especially for immigrant and refugee communities. And in the assessment, we'll be using surveys, focus group discussions, and informational interviews with healthcare providers. And through this assessment, we just hope to hear from, to have a better understanding of the needs and gaps in maternal and infant health resources and services in the community, and create intervention that'll better serve those needs. I'm gonna present a flyer that just for those who are interested to learn more about this this program, and if anyone would like to participate in the program as well, we'll also work with like community organizations to spread more information about this project. So I'm going to present the flyers. They're going to be both in Arabic and in English. So here is a flyer. It's for community organizations who would like to join us in this project. This is the Arabic version of it, and this is the English version of it.
Mommy, are you sharing your screen? Do you want to share your screen?
Yes, I'm sharing my screen. It's not shared? Oh, okay.
There are probably a couple more buttons to press.
Okay. Okay, I just shared it.
All right.
So this is for community organizations who would like to join us on this project. This one is the Arabic version, and this is the English version. We also have another flyer for moms and expected moms and those who are planning to be moms to join us on this project as well. There is a QR code on this flyer, and you can, if you're interested or would like to participate or want to learn more about this project, you can scan this QR code, and we'll reach out to you. This is the English version, and we have a Arabic version as well.
All right, thank you, Mommy. Why don't you send me these to my email? I'll leave it for you in the private chat, and I'll share it with our community.
Sure, I'll share it with you shortly.
Thank you
Thank
very
you so
much.
much. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And now with Omnia Abdullah, who will be presenting about building self-worth and confidence in our children. بناء الثقة بالنفس وتقدير الذات. Omnia, your presentation is ready?
Yes. So hello everyone, thank you for the introduction. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Today, like we said, we're going to be talking about self-worth. We're going to be talking about how to build self-worth, for our children, what affects their self-worth, and what really kind of brings it down. So أهلا وسهلا. اليوم نحن رح نحكي عن بناء استحقاق النفس وقيمة النفس، خصوصا عند الأولاد. رح نحكي عن شو هي الأشياء ممكن تكسر قيمتهم بالنفس أو تكسر بشخصيتهم، كيف ممكن نشتغل معهم لنحسن هالشيء أو لنعمله شيء إيجابي أكثر. So to get started, we're just going to talk about a few terms that kind of really build this self-worth. They really have a huge impact on our self-esteem, confidence. So let's get started with just a few terms that I want to kind of clear up as we continue this conversation. So when we're talking about ourselves, we're talking about our identity, our personality.
Sorry to cut you off, but do you have your presentation is not online yet?
Let's see. I do apologize.
Oh, no problem. I thought maybe you want to go solo on this.
I do have a PowerPoint. How about now?
It's good now, yes.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you.
So to get kind of continuing on this self-concept, self-worth, when we're talking about ourselves, we're talking about, all the aspects of our identity, our personality. And to think about it in easier terms, think about yourself as this big picture or this big puzzle that's made out of, hundreds of small pieces. And all of these pieces are the experiences that we have lived, things that have, made us stronger people, things that have hurt us in the past, and all of them together make, this self-concept or the self that we have, or the image that we have of ourselves. So لنحكي عن هالموضوع، خلينا أول شيء نحكي عن كم كلمة أو كم فكرة حوالين قيمة النفس والثقة بالنفس. أول وحدة منهم هي، خلينا أول شيء نبدي الحكي عن أنفسنا، أو شو هي الأشياء اللي بتعمل شخصيتنا. هلا إذا نحب نفكر بحالنا، ممكن نفكر كأنه نحن عنا صورة كاملة لشخصيتنا ومركبة من قطع صغار. هالقطع كلياتهم هن الاكسبيرينسز، هن الأشياء اللي نحن عايشينهم، اللي هن بيبنوا الشخصية اللي عنا إياها. Other terms that I kind of want to mention as well are self-worth. So again, we're talking about this picture. The value that we give this picture is our self-worth. It could be positive, it could be negative. This just kind of depends on the circumstances that we're living in. And of course, we can do certain things to kind of lean towards that more positive value after it's been negative. So هالصورة هي في إلها قيمة، وهالقيمة نحن بنقول عليها استحقاق النفس. So هل استحقاق النفس أو القيمة ممكن تكون عالية أو واطية حسب الشيء اللي عم نعيشه، حسب المواقف اللي احنا عايشين فيها. وإذا الشخص عنده قيمة نفس واطية ممكن يشتغل عليها ليعملها إيجابية أكتر. Self-esteem is another concept. So this is kind of how we feel about ourselves. This is kind of the feeling that's associated with ourselves. Again, this could be low or high, positive or negative. Just really depends on the experiences that we have lived. هلا الثقة بالنفس، نحن بنحكي عن الثقة كأنه هي المشاعر اللي بتصير حوالين حالنا أو حوالين شخصيتنا. الطريقة اللي بنحس فيها عن حالنا هي الثقة بالنفس. كمان مثل غير أشياء ممكن تكون عالية أو واطية حسب الشيء أو المواقف اللي نحن عايشين فيهم. Another one is self-concept, and self-concept is the thoughts that we have around ourselves. So again, this could be positive, this could be negative, just depends on what we are going through. فهم النفس هو الأفكار اللي بتكون حوالين شخصيتنا، كمان ممكن تكون عالية أو واطية، إيجابية أو سلبية. So if we put these terms together, so if we put the self-concept, self-esteem, we are going to get self-worth. So it's the feelings plus the thoughts that gives the value that we have for our personality. And this is kind of really the big picture here. And we're going to talk about how, self-concept can affect self-worth, self-esteem and self-worth, and so forth. So إذا نحن بنحط هالكلمات مع بعض، إذا بنحط فهم النفس والثقة بالنفس، بيكون عنا قيمة النفس. الطريقة اللي نحن بنفكر فيها عن حالنا والمشاعر الموجودة تجاه حالنا هي بتعطينا هالقيمة اللي بنحطها للصورة اللي هي بتشكل شخصيتنا. So what are the things that affect all of these things? So this self-worth, the self-confidence really stems in early childhood, and there's a few different things that can impact the self-worth that we have or that our children have. So family has a huge impact. This is parents, siblings, extended family, aunts, uncles. All of these people have an impact on their self-worth. School has a huge impact as well. So teachers, coaches, friends, schoolmates, all of them also have a big impact on our children's self-worth. The community, of course, does have an impact as well. And nowadays we can even say social media and the internet has a huge impact on self-worth. So there's a lot of, community expectations or social expectations, and all of these things can have an impact on the self-worth as well. So في أشياء مختلفة ممكن تأثر على قيمة النفس عنا أو عند أولادنا، بس كتير من الأحيان هالقيمة النفس بتتشكل بعمر صغير. So من الأشياء اللي بتأثر عليها هي العائلة، والعائلة لها تأثير كتير كبير. So الأم، الأب، الإخوة، أو حتى أي فرد تاني من أفراد العائلة ممكن يكون له تأثير كتير كبير على قيمة النفس عند أولادنا. المدرسة كمان أو الأشخاص اللي بالمدرسة بيكون لهم تأثير كتير كبير. المعلمين، الطلاب اللي موجودين بالمدرسة كلياتهم لهم تأثير كبير، وكمان المجتمع. وهلا كمان ممكن نحكي عن السوشيال ميديا أو وسائل التواصل الاجتماعي، وكيف لهم كمان تأثير كبير على أولادنا، على شخصيتهم، وكمان على استحقاقهم للنفس. So when we're talking about, our children and how they build the self-worth, we're really talking about the experiences that they live through. So, are they bullied at home from their siblings? Are they bullied at school? Are they always encouraged to try new things? Any experience that you can think about that your child goes through on an every single day basis is really making or breaking their self-worth and their self-confidence. And it's really about teaching your child how to overcome those difficult situations where, they might have, not done so well on a project, or, didn't win in a certain game. And all of these things could really hurt their self-worth, but it's about really teaching our child to overcome these things, being able to try again, to really build their self-worth. So نحن لما عم نحكي عن هالقيمة النفس خصوصا عند أولادنا، كمان نحن عم نحكي عن تجارب الحياة اللي بيعيشوها كل يوم، وكيف هالتجارب ممكن إلها تأثير كتير كبير على شخصيتهم وقيمتهم بالنفس. لأنه مهما كانت التجربة بسيطة أو كبيرة هي لها تأثير كبير. إذا هن علاماتهم منهم منيحة، أو إذا في أي تنمر بالمدرسة أو بالبيت عليهم، إذا في أشخاص ما بيحبون، أشخاص بيحاولوا إنه يؤذيهم، كل هالتجارب بيكون لهم تأثير كبير على قيمتهم بالنفس والطريقة اللي بيشوفوا فيها حالهم. ومن المهم كأهل إنه نحن ننتبه على هالشي ونساعد أولادنا ليتعلموا أو ليبنوا المهارات ليعرفوا كيف يتجنبوا هالتجارب أو كيف يرجعوا يكون عندهم ثقة منيحة بحالهم بعد ما يفشلوا بتجربة أو بيكون ناس حواليهم بيكونوا قاسيين عليهم بالبيت أو بالمدرسة. So if those experiences are negative, of course, we can imagine, the self-worth being torn down, self-esteem going down as well. And the opposite is true. So if our child is always having, more positive experiences, then they're going to have a little bit more self-confidence, they're going to have a little bit more self-worth. And of course, the way they handle those negative experiences has an impact as well. So مثل ما ممكن نفكر إنه هالتجارب إذا كانت سلبية هن رح يكون عندهم قيمة بالنفس واطية أو رح تتكسر قيمتهم بنفسهم، والعكس كمان صحيح. إذا هالتجارب بتكون إيجابية بتكون منيحة رح يكون عندهم قيمة نفس أعلى أو رح يكون عندهم ثقة بحالهم أكتر. وإذا نحن بنشوف إنه أولادنا عندهم هالتجارب السلبية ممكن نشتغل معهم ليتجنبوها أو كمان ليرجعوا يبنوا قيمة النفس عندهم. So why is it important to, maintain this high self-worth or this positive self-worth that I keep mentioning? So generally, those people that have higher self-worth are able to treat themselves and others and the environment around them in a better way. They, give value to people around them. Those children are gonna, grow up and be able to communicate with others a little bit more. They're gonna be able to achieve their goals. And there's a lot of other positive outcomes that can come from the self-worth that is, positive or high self-worth. So شو أهمية هالموضوع أو شو أهمية قيمة النفس العالية أو الإيجابية؟ هلا كتير من الناس اللي عندهم قيمة النفس العالية أو ثقة بالنفس بيكونوا هن يعرفوا يتعاملوا مع حالهم مع الناس الموجودين حوالين وكمان مع البيئة بطريقة منيحة وكمان رح يعرفوا كيف يحققوا أهدافهم بيكونوا مهمين أكثر بالمجتمع ويعرفوا كيف يتعاملوا مع الأشخاص بشكل أحسن. وفي أشياء تانية إيجابية كتير بتجي مع هالثقة بالنفس العالية أو الإيجابية. So the biggest kind of issue or concern that we see, or I guess the biggest problem that leads to this negative self-worth comes from labeling. So what am I talking about? What is this labeling concept? So imagine anything that has a label. It could be canned food, it could be a box of something. This label identifies the object that we're looking at. So the same way we can use these labels for our children. So I'm going to give you kind of an example. So if we have a child and we always tell this child, you're not smart, you're not organized, you're such a clutter, they're going to grow up thinking these things are true about themselves. So if they're unorganized, they're never going to try to be organized. They already know, I'm not organized. This is how I live my life. I like to live in clutter. On the other hand, if we have a child that we always tell them, hey, you're so neat, you're so organized, you're so smart, they're always going to push in order to make those terms or labels that we give them a reality. So they're always going to think, well, I'm an organized person, I have to organize my room. Or I'm a smart person, I know how to solve this problem, or I can take time to learn how to solve this problem. So really these labels that we give our children motivate them into one direction or the other. And I know a lot of times, we give them those labels without really thinking about it, just from the daily things that we go through, but it's really important as parents to pay extra attention to those labels because they really can have a huge impact on our children, their self-worth, and their personality as a whole. So خلينا نحكي عن هالفكرة اللي هي فكرة الألقاب أو المتسلقات اللي ممكن نحطها على أولادنا أو على أي شخص موجود حوالينا. So هالفكرة هي إنه نحن بنفكر عن أي شيء ممكن يكون كتاب أو علبة دايما في عليها label، دايما في عليها اسم ونحن بنعرف شو موجود بقلب العلبة أو الكتاب من خلال هالاسم الموجود عليه. هلا نفس الشيء ممكن يشتغل على أولادنا أو هالأيديا نفسها ممكن نشوفها عند أولاد. خلينا نحكي عن مثلين واحد عكس الثاني. خلينا نفكر بولد ربيان أهله دايما بيقولوا له أنت منك مرتب، أنت منك ذكي، فهو دايما رح يكبر ورح يعرف إنه حتى لو كانت غرفته منا مرتبة هو ما رح يحاول يرتبها لأنه هو بيقول أنا ماني مرتب وهيك غرفتي لازم تكون. العكس كمان بيكون كتير صحيح. إذا في ولد إحنا مربينه على إن إحنا دايما بنقول له إنه هو مرتب، هو ذكي، هو شاطر، هو دايما رح يفكر إنه حتى لو كانت غرفته منا مرتبة هو رح يشتغل أكسترا شوي من شان يعدل الغرفة، أو حتى إذا كان عنده هوم ورك صعب أو وظيفة صعبة بالمدرسة ممكن يفكر إنه أنا شخص ذكي وفيني حل هالمشكلة أو فيني حل هالهوم ورك اللي عندي إياه. هنا رح يشتغلوا على حالهم أكتر شوي بسبب هالألقاب اللي نحن أعطيناهم إياها. كأهل نحن ممكن نكون ما بننتبه لهالشيء أو بنقول هالصفات على أولادنا بدون ما نقصد بسبب الشيء اللي عم بيصير حوالينا أو الشيء اللي أولادنا عم بيعملوه، بس نحن ما بنحس بالتأثير اللي بيكون عم بيصير مع أولادنا بسبب هالكلمات المختلفة. حتى لو كان أولادكم عندهم هالصفات السلبية حاولوا ما تقولوها قدامهم، حاولوا إنه تشتغلوا معهم لتحسنوا هالسلوكيات أو لتحسنوا هالتصرفات، بس حاولوا إنه تبتعدوا عن هالألقاب السلبية لأنه هن رح يكبروا رح يأمنوا بهالشي عن شخصيتهم. So regardless of the actual personalities and skills of your child, it's true some of our children are actually unorganized, are actually, not as gentle with others around them. But it's really important to recognize these things and work on improving them instead of just labeling our child with these negative personalities that they have. So here's kind of a little picture to further demonstrate this. So, when you ask a child, describe yourself. When they use these adjectives, they're bringing them from things that they heard. So they heard their teacher say that they are neat. They heard their teacher or their parents say that they're helpful, or their friends. They've heard these things from other people around them, and they become the beliefs of themselves. So إذا بدنا نكمل حكينا عن هالموضوع ممكن نشوف هالصور ونشوف كيف إذا نحن سألنا أي ولد ليحكي عن حاله أو يشرح الادجectives أو الشخصية تبعه، هو ممكن يستخدم كلمات مختلفة إنه هو سعيد، هو شاطر، هو سريع، وكل هالكلمات بتجي من مكانات هن سامعين هالشي عنهم. سامعين أهلهم بيقولوا هالأشياء عنهم، سامعين رفقاتهم أو المدرسين يقولوا إنه هن أشخاص لطيفين أو سريعين أو مهذبين. هالكلمات ما بتجي من مكان بعيد، هي بتجي من مكانات اللي هن عم بيسمعوها من الناس الموجودة حواليهم. حاولوا إنه هالأسماء بتكون دايما إيجابية. Let's talk about, the children that might not have the most positive self-worth and how we can help them. It is difficult for, any child to build this positive self-worth, especially if we keep giving them those negative labels. They're really going to be stuck in it. We'll talk about steps that we can take to reverse this, and also, how we can help them get better and have more positive self-worth. الأطفال وقيمتهم بالنفس بتكون كتير واطية لما نحن بنحط لهم هالأسماء اللي بتكون سلبية. أول شيء ممكن نعمله إنه نحاول نعكس هالشيء ونعطيهم أسماء إيجابية أكتر. هالأسماء السلبية هي أكتر شيء بتأثر على قيمتهم بالنفس، والولد رح يحس إنه مهما هو كان منيح أو مهما جرب المجتمع حواليه أو الناس اللي حواليه دايما رح يشوفوه بهالطريقة السلبية، فهو ما رح يعود يحاول. نحن لازم نبتعد عنهم بشكل تام. More examples of those labels. Again, we can say positive things like you are smart, you are focused, you're friendly, you're considerate, instead of saying things that you're dumb, you're messy, you're scatterbrained, you're thoughtless, and things like that. متسميات تانية بدي أحكي عنهم أو أمثلة تانية ممكن نقولهم. ممكن نقول لأولادنا إنه هن أذكياء، إنه هن مركزين، إنه هن لطيفين، أو حتى بيراعوا الآخرين الموجودين حواليهم، بدل ما لأنهم الأشياء السلبية اللي هي ممكن تكون إنه هن مشوشين، منهم أذكياء، هن بدون تفكير، أو أي شيء مثل هالمتسميات اللي بتكون سلبية. Can we actually help our child, or any child actually, to improve their self-worth? We definitely can. And again, the most important step is identifying those negative labels, the negative adjectives that we have given them, kind of getting rid of them, and really work on their personalities to build that positive label instead. and we'll talk about a few steps that we can take as well. So هل بالممكن إنه نحسن قيمة النفس عند أولادنا أو أي ولد موجود حوالينا وكمان ثقتهم بحالهم؟ أكيد ممكن نعمل هالشي، وأهم خطوة هي إنه نعرف شو هي الأسماء السلبية اللي نحن عاطيهم لأولادنا، أو إذا في أي شخص تاني عاطي هالأسماء السلبية لازم نعرفهم ونعرف كيف نشتغل على هالمهارات لنبدي نبني لهم شخصية أو سلوك إيجابي أكتر لنشتغل على قيمة النفس اللي عندهم إياها. So let's talk about 10 ways or 10 different things that we can do to improve our children's self-worth, and then I'll go into a few more activities that we can do with them to help, build this positive self-worth. So one thing that we can do is put our children in situations where we know that they are going to do well in, we know that they are going to succeed. So a lot of times, if we think about it, negative self-worth comes from failing different tasks or not doing well on certain things. So let's do the opposite of that. Let's put our children into a situation where we know that they're going to succeed. Every time they succeed, they're going to feel a little bit better about themselves. They're going to feel a little bit more confident and a little bit more accomplished. So the more that we can give them, the better. Also, try to give them those, little tasks or little situations and challenges, and make them small, make them specific. That way, they can work on specific skills and they can start putting positive labels for themselves. So شو هي الأشياء اللي ممكن نعملها مع أولادنا لنكون عندهم ثقة بالنفس أو قيمة نفس عالية؟ شيء من الأشياء ممكن نعملها إنه نحط أولادنا بمواقف نحن نعرف إنه هن رح يعرفوا ينجحوا فيها، لأنه كثير من الأحيان قيمة النفس الواطية بتجي من تجارب هن ما عم ينجحوا فيها أو عم يفشلوا فيها. خلينا نعمل العكس، خلينا نعطيهم مهارات أو مهمات صغيرة وبسيطة ونعرف إنه أولادنا رح ينجحوا فيها، لأنه كل ما نجحوا بمهارة أو بمهمة نحن عطيناهم إياها كل ما حسوا بالثقة بنفسهم أكتر وأكتر. كمان حاولوا إنه تعطوهم مهمات صغيرة ومحددة منشان يبدوا يحطوا لحالهم أسماء أو متسميات بتكون إيجابية أكتر من اللي كان عندهم إياها. Another thing to kind of keep in mind as well as we are giving them those little tasks or challenges is that, sometimes we might expect our child to succeed, but they don't. And if that happens, an important thing to do is take a step back with your child and look at the problem or look at why they didn't succeed in the certain task that you gave them or the certain challenge, and help them, kind of learn how to solve it the next time they try, and really encourage them to try again. And then anytime that you see your child behaving in a positive way, doing something that is good, positive, following the rules, something that is opposite from what they used to do before, make sure that you praise them. This could look very different from child to child or from family to family. It doesn't always have to be gifts, doesn't always have to be money. It could be as simple as extra time on their screens. It could be, an extra time to spend with their friends. Could be extra dessert or candy. Could be anything simple. Could also be just nice words of encouragement, but make sure that you are praising them or encouraging them whenever they do something positive. So أشياء تانية ممكن ننتبه لها أو نعملها لنأكد إنه أولادنا عندهم قيمة نفس أقوى من قبل، إنه إذا نحن عم نعطيهم هالمهمات أو هالأشياء الصغيرة اللي يعملوها أو التحديات الصغيرة، لازم كمان نحضر حالنا لما أولادنا يفشلوا فيها، لأنه مهما نحن بسطنا هالمهمات أكيد رح تجي مهمة ممكن تكون شوي صعبة لإلهم أو نحن ما كنا متوقعين إنه هن ما ينجحوا فيها. إذا هالشي بيصير بيفشلوا بأي مهمة أنتوا عطيتوهم إياها، حاولوا إنه تشتغلوا معهم ليعرفوا ليه هن فشلوا فيها وشو ممكن يعملوا المرة الجاية مشان ينجحوا. وكمان لازم دايما نحفزهم ونشجعهم ليجربوا مرة تانية منشان يعرفوا أو كمان يحاولوا إنه يبنوا هالقيمة النفس عندهم إياها. وكل ما نجحوا أولادكم بشي معين، مهمة أو بأي شيء صار عندهم سلوك إيجابي أكتر من قبل، حاولوا إنه دايما تمدحوهم. هالمدح ما لازم يكون هدايا، ما لازم يكون مصاري، ممكن يكون شيء كتير بسيط، ممكن يكون وقت زيادة على الشاشات التلفزيون أو الآيباد، ممكن يكون وقت أكتر ليلعبوا مع رفقاتهم أو أي شيء بسيط ممكن تمدحوا أولادكم فيه منشان يتشجعوا لدايما يعملوا هالسلوكيات الإيجابية. Another thing that you can do and has a huge impact on our children's self-worth is talking about our children in a positive way in front of them to someone else. So if you're going to pick up your child from school, from their classroom, you say positive things about your child to the teacher, knowing that they are in the classroom, they hear you, but you're not specifically saying it to them. This is really going to build their self-esteem, and they're going to feel a little bit more confident about themselves. Another thing is act in a way that you want your children to act. So if we are the type of people that are always saying, I'm so unorganized, or I talk about myself in a negative way in front of my children, they are going to learn that quickly from you and act and speak about themselves in the same way. So try as best as you can to be as positive of an example as you can around your children, because you might not know it, but regardless of how your child acts or how young or old they always are looking at you as an example, as a role model. So try to be as positive around them as you can. So أشياء تانية ممكن نعملها لنحاول نعزز قيمة النفس المنيحة أو الإيجابية عند أولادنا، هي إنه نحكي عن أولادنا بطريقة إيجابية لحدا تاني، وبتأكد إنه أولادنا موجودين بالغرفة وعم يسمعوا هالحكي اللي نحن عم بنقوله. إذا أنتوا رايحين لتجيبوا أولادكم من المدرسة، ممكن تقولوا شيء إيجابي عن أولادكم للمدرسين أو أي حدا موجود، وتعرفوا إنه ابنكم موجود بالصف أو موجود بالغرفة وهو عم يسمع هالأشياء الإيجابية اللي عم بتقولوا عنهم. هالشي رح يعمل عندهم ثقة بالنفس أكتر، وكمان رح يبني قيمة النفس عندهم. أشياء تانية ممكن ننتبه عليها كأهل هي الطريقة اللي نحن بنتصرف فيها خصوصا قدام أولادنا. كثير من الأحيان كأهل نحن ممكن نحكي بطريقة سلبية عن حالنا خصوصا قدام أولادنا، فهن من يسمعوا هالشي بيعرفوا إنه أهلي بيحكوا عن حالهم بطريقة سلبية، فأنا كمان ممكن أعمل نفس الشي. So حاولوا دايما تحكوا عن حالكم أو تتصرفوا بطريقة إيجابية حوالين أولادكم، لأنه حتى لو كانوا صغار أو كبار بالعمر هن دايما عم يسمعوكم وعم يتعلموا منكم. So حاولوا تكونوا إيجابيين حواليهم. Other things that we can kind of do or try to implement every day in order to improve our children's self-worth is already kind of put our children into those positive labels, especially if they had negative ones in the past. Start using them a little bit more in order to kind of guide your child to become that person, to become that organized person, to become that nice person. To become that person that knows how to communicate their feelings to their family and things like that. Which leads me to my other point. It's very important to show our children some respect when it comes to them sharing their feelings or sharing their opinions, because this is really gonna give them some value. They're gonna feel like, I am valued in this home, or my parents value my feelings, or they want to listen to my feelings and my opinions, regardless of what those feelings are. And I know a lot of times us parents don't agree with our children's feelings and opinions, but it's very important to just listen to them even if we don't agree. Give them that space to share their thoughts freely. So أشياء تانية ممكن نعملها هي إنه نبدي نحكي عن أولادنا أو نبدي نعطيهم هالأسماء الإيجابية أو هالليبلز الإيجابية من شان هن يحاولوا يبنوا شخصيتهم حواليهم. So خلص نحن بنبدأ بنقول عنهم إنه هن أذكياء، هن لطيفين، هن مرتبين، هن عندهم إحساس، هن متعاونين معنا، أو أي ليبل تاني إيجابي نحن ممكن نحطه لأولادنا، ونبتعد كتير عن المناقبات السلبية. شيء تاني ممكن نعمله هو إنه نحاول نسمع لأولادنا ونحترم مشاعرهم وآرائهم حتى لو كانت مختلفة عن آرائنا ومشاعرنا. كثير من الأحيان الأولاد بيحسوا إنه هن إلهم قيمة بالبيت إذا نحن بنعطيهم شوية وقت لنسمعهم، حتى لو كانت أفكارهم كثير بتختلف عن أفكارنا، حتى لو نحن ما بنحب أفكارهم، بس عطيناهم هالوقت ليحكوا عن أفكارهم هن رح يحسوا إنه عندهم قيمة. بعدين نحن ممكن نحكي معهم ونعرف أو بنبين لهم إن نحن عنا أفكار مختلفة ونحل المشاكل بهالطريقة. Other things that we can also do, this is kind of related to the labeling, but be careful when we're commenting about our children's strengths and their weaknesses. All of us have them, all of us have weaknesses, all of us have strengths, but just like the labels, just be a little bit careful when it comes to these things. If a child kind of sticks to one weakness, they're not going to see anything else, but really try to encourage them to work on those weaknesses, but without telling them that they are struggling with a certain thing. Focus on the strengths in order to kind of, again, build that good and positive self-worth and self-esteem. And last kind of tip here is to be very patient, especially with a child that has negative self-worth. It's very easy for them to kind of, become a little bit more positive, and then, a little situation will happen that could really bring them back or set them back a few steps. So just kind of be mindful of that, be very patient. Also remember that some children are just naturally a little bit more shy, naturally a little bit more reserved, naturally a little bit more hesitant, and that's okay. You just have to be a little bit more patient with them and really kind of always encourage them. And one day they will get there, no matter how long it takes. Just taking the few steps every day will get them there. So اشياء تانية ممكن ننتبه عليها أو نعملها إنه نحاول نأكد أكثر على نقاط القوة عند أولادنا بدل ما نركز على نقاط الضعف. كلياتنا عنا إياهم، كلياتنا عنا نقاط ضعف، عنا أشياء نحن مناح فيهم، أشياء منا مناح فيهم، بس خلينا نركز على النقاط القوية وبنشتغل معهم ليحسنوا هالنقاط الضعف اللي عندهم إياها. هالشي رح يساعدهم ليكون عندهم قيمة نفس أكتر، وكمان ما يركزوا على الأشياء اللي هن منهم مناح فيها، بالعكس يبنوا مهارات ليتحسنوا بالمستقبل. كمان كأهل لازم نكون كتير صبورين. بتذكر إنه إذا في ولد عنده قيمة نفس واطية أو ما عنده ثقة بحاله، هو ممكن يتحسن مع الوقت، بس في أي شيء بسيط ممكن يصير معه بيومه بالمدرسة أو بالبيت ممكن يرجعه كم خطوة لورا، فلازم نكون كتير صبورين معهم. كمان نتذكر إنه في أولاد هن خجولين، هن شخصيتهم بتكون منا منفتحة مثل غير أولاد، أو ما بيحبوا يجربوا أكثر من مرة مثل غير أولاد، فلازم نكون كثير صبورين ونشتغل معهم خطوة خطوة ليصير عندهم قيمة نفس وثقة بنفسهم أحسن من قبل. وهلا خلينا نحكي عن أشياء تانية ممكن نعملها أو ألعاب أو كيف ممكن نبني هالمهارات عند أولادنا. So let's talk about a few different activities that we can do with our children. So we talked about a few steps, but I'm going to talk about more specific activities that we can do with them to kind of really instill this self-confidence in them. First one is packing for a trip. So this could be completely pretend, this can be real, but anytime that you are going on a trip, it could be a day trip, a weekend trip, a long trip, whatever it may be, ask your child to pack their own suitcase. This is gonna help them to practice independence. They're gonna feel like they're independent, they're older than their age. And when they are done, what you can do is, instead of checking every single thing that they packed, ask them specific questions. So let's say you are going for a hike or going swimming, ask them, did you bring everything you need for hiking, or did you bring everything you need for swimming? And just kind of go through a checklist with them. Again, this is really going to help them build that self-independence, and it's a really good way to build that self-confidence as well. So خلينا نحكي عن أنشطة معينة أو أمثلة عن أنشطة معينة نحن ممكن نعملهم مع أولادنا لنطور ثقتهم بنفسهم. So واحدة منهم هي إنه نخلي أولادنا يحضروا أغراضهم لأي رحلة لحالهم. So ممكن تكون رحلة ليوم، ويكند أو حتى أسبوع. بنعطيهم الحرية ليحضروا أغراضهم لحالهم، وبس يخلصوا نحن ممكن نأكد عليهم أو ممكن نسألهم عن الأشياء اللي حضروها، أو إذا عندهم كل الأشياء اللي هن بيحتاجوها لهالسفرة أو هالرحلة. So ممكن نسألهم إذا نحن رايحين نسبح، ممكن نسألهم عن كل الأغراض اللي بيحتاجوها، بنسألهم عن أشياء معينة. هالشي رح يخليهم يحسوا إنه هن مستقلين أو حتى يمارسوا الاستقلالية، لأنه هن رح يعملوا كل شيء لحالهم ويعتمدوا على حالهم كمان، وهالشي بيطور الثقة بالنفس عند أولادنا. Another example is tell your child to invent a recipe. So encourage them to, make mistakes and make them into learning opportunities. Allow them to create their own recipes, adding ingredients, taking them away, and trying them together, and ask them, what would you do differently next time? So after they try what they've made, they will have comments. It needs to be sweeter, it's too sweet, whatever it may be, but they will definitely kind of learn that way as well, learn to make mistakes, learn from their mistakes and make them into learning opportunities as well. شيء تاني ممكن نعمله مع أولادنا هو نقلهم ليخترعوا وصفة لحالهم. So نشجعهم ليجربوا شيء جديد، ليحاولوا إنه يعملوا شيء جديد وكمان يقيموه. ممكن نخليهم يعملوا أي وصفة هن بدهم إياها، وبهالطريقة هن رح يتعلموا من أخطائهم. هن رح يجربوا أشياء مختلفة ورح يشوفوا شو هو الشيء الأحسن. بس يخلصوا هالوصفة ممكن تسألوهم شو ممكن نعمل المرة الجاية لتكون هالوصفة أحسن، فهن رح يعرفوا كيف يحلوا المشاكل، كمان كيف يغيروا أشياء معينة يصير عندهم وصفة أحسن، ليشتغلوا على حالهم، ليتعلموا من هالتجربة الصغيرة اللي نحن بنحط لهم إياها بالبيت. وهالشي كمان ممكن يبني الثقة بالنفس عندهم. Other things that you can do is let your children make slime, kind of allow them to complete this completely by themselves, and then come back and tell you what they did, explain what they did, teach their siblings how they made slime, or teach you. This is going to make them feel very confident in themselves. They accomplished something, they know how to make something, they are teaching it to you. This is a great way to kind of build that self-confidence as well. شيء تاني ممكن نعمله أو نقول لأولادنا ليعملوه هو إنه يصنعوا المعجون لحالهم، نعطيهم كل الأشياء اللي بيحتاجوها، وخليهم يعملوا هالشيء لحالهم، وبعدين بس يخلصوا بيجوا يعلمونا أو يعلموا رفقاتهم أو أخواتهم كيف يعملوا المعجون لحالهم. هالطريقة رح تخليهم يحسوا إنه هن كتير واثقين بحالهم، هن عملوا شيء لحالهم، ويعرفوا كيف كمان يعلموا الناس الموجودين حواليهم على نفس الطريقة اللي هن اتبعوها. هاي طريقة كتير منيحة لنطور الثقة بالنفس عند أولادنا. Another thing that we can do is giving our children chores with purpose. And this is very beneficial if we give our child a living thing. So if we give them a plant to take care of or a pet to take care of, we're really giving them a chore with a purpose. They're going to feel responsible for these things. So they're responsible for the plant, they're responsible for the pet, or anything like that. That responsibility is really going to build that self-confidence in them. شيء تاني ممكن نعمله هو إنه نعطي أولادنا شغل روتيني بس بيكون له سبب. ممكن نعطي أولادنا زرعة ليعتنوا فيها أو حيوان أليف بالبيت ليعتنوا فيه، وتكون مسؤوليتهم هن الشخصية ليعتنوا بهالشيء اللي نحن عم نعطيهم إياه. هالعمل اللي فيه له سبب بيخلي أولادنا يحسوا إنه هن واثقين بحالهم، وكمان بيحسوا إنه هن مسؤولين عن الزرعة أو مسؤولين عن القطة أو الكلب اللي عندكم إياهم بالبيت. Another thing that we can do, again, simple activity, but our children can learn a lot from it, is floating their boats. So this is a great way to really encourage our children to problem solve on their own. And once they learn how to problem solve, every time they solve a problem, their self-esteem is going to be a lot better. Their self-confidence is going to go up as well. So an example of this is giving your children paper to make a boat and actually taking it out to the water. You can even use the tub at home or anything, fill it up with water, and see if those boats actually float. If they don't, encourage your child to kind of see, why didn't my boat float? Try again, do something different in order to help this boat to float. And once they solve the problem, once they figure it out, then you've really kind of helped them develop their self-confidence. شيء تاني ممكن نعمله هو إنه نخلي أولادنا يلعبوا بالقوارب الورقية وكيف إنهم يعملوها لحالهم، وكمان نحاول نعطيهم جات مي أو ناخدهم لمكان فيها مي ويجربوا إنه يحطوا هالقارب بالمي بدون ما يغرق. هالطريقة بتخلي أولادنا يتعلموا كيف يحلوا المشاكل، كيف يجربوا أكتر من مرة وأكتر من طريقة ليلاقوا الحل المناسب لهالمشكلة، إنه هي كيف ما نخلي القارب إنه يغرق أو كيف لازم نتأكد إنه القارب عم يطوف بالمي. كل ما أولادنا جربوا مرة تانية وكل ما حلوا هالمشكلة أو مشكلة بسيطة بتشبه هاي، بيصير عندهم ثقة بالنفس أكتر وبيكونوا واثقين بحالهم أكتر كمان. هاي كمان لعبة كتير فعالة لأولادنا. Another one is, again, giving them a responsibility, and this time is serving a snack. So ask your child to plan, prepare, and serve a snack or lunch to their siblings, to you, or anything like that, and actually give them actual material. So, let them go in the kitchen, let them experiment, let them plan, let them do everything from A to Z. And this really kind of also helps them to multitask, helps them kind of plan different things at different times. So if it's a snack, it could be simple, but lunch is a bigger meal, different things that they might be making. So definitely a challenge, but we'll definitely get them to build that self-confidence as well. شيء تاني يمكن نعمله مع أولادنا إنه نقول لهم يقدموا وجبة خفيفة أو حتى غدا لإلنا لأخواتهم لرفقاتهم لأي حدا ممكن يكون موجود بالبيت. اطلبوا منهم يحضروا هالشي لحالهم، خلوهم يروحوا بالمطبخ. كل ما حضروا هالأشياء هن رح يعرفوا كيف يفكروا بشكل كامل. هن رح يفكروا عن شو لازم يحضروا، شو هي الأشياء اللي بيحتاجوها، كيف يحضروا هالأشياء. هن رح يكون عندهم أكتر من شي ليشتغلوا عليه، وهالشي رح يخليهم يصير عندهم ثقة بحالهم أكتر، رح يكونوا مستقلين أكتر وبيعرفوا يعتمدوا على حالهم كمان. So those are kind of all the examples that I wanted to share today. But of course, there's a lot more games and activities that you can do with your children to kind of really instill this sense of confidence and independence in them. So definitely give them a try, or other ones as well. And again, our lives are, full of experiences. Every day there are something new that we encounter, different problems that we solve, and all of these things again have a huge impact on our self-worth, our self-esteem, and same thing with our children. Again, these things really stem from early childhood. So whatever happens, just kind of teach your children how to recover from it, how to look back at a situation that they might not have acted the best, or a challenge that they didn't succeed in, how they can solve those problems, and kind of go from there. Again, as a parent, be very, very mindful when you're using labels for your children. Focus on the positive ones, even if your child has, negative aspects of their personalities. But again, the more we focus on them, the more we instill those negative concepts. So just go the opposite route. And again, no matter how unconfident or the self-worth in our children is very low, there's a lot of things that we can do to help them and to get their self-worth to be a lot more positive than it is now. So بهالسيشن نحن حكينا عن الاكتيفيتيز المختلفة اللي نحن ممكن نعملها مع أولادنا لنعزز ثقتهم بحالهم. كمان حكينا عن كيف هالتجارب اللي بنعيشها كل يوم بتأثر على ثقتنا بحالنا وعلى قيمة حالنا. وهالشي دايما مثل ما قلنا بيبدأ بعمر صغير. حاولوا كتير تنتبهوا كأهل على الطريقة اللي بتحكوا فيها مع أولادكم، هالمتسميات بتعطوهم إياها الإيجابية والسلبية، وحاولوا إنه تركزوا على الإيجابي أكتر من السلبي، حتى لو أولادكم عندهم هالصفات السلبية. بس حاولوا ما تركزوا عليهم، لأنه كل ما ركزنا عليهم كل ما أولادنا بدوا يتصرفوا بهالطريقة أكتر وأكتر. So I hope you learned something today. This is our social media platforms. Make sure to connect with us, and I will take any questions if you have them.
Thank you, Omnia, for this presentation and LAHC. This presentation will be available immediately after we're done on the Academy social media and YouTube channel, so you can share it with others who you think would benefit from seeing it. Before we end the session today, and we can take any questions, you can leave them in the comments, dear parents and community. I have a few announcements to make. First of all, congratulations for Universal Academy for being named one of the top schools, actually number 2 in Detroit in the number of college enrollments. And that's according to McKenna Institute report that was published yesterday. I would like to also remind you that this Monday is the last day for the 15% off school uniforms that's running by Tommy Hilfiger school uniform site. More information is available on the social media. We have an announcement from the seniors at Star International Academy. They're running a fundraiser at Cinnabon and Auntie Anne's restaurant that's on Ford Road in Dearborn Heights. Today all the way till 10 p.m. So anytime you go there, you purchase something, just mention that you are there because of the Star International Academy, and a percentage of your purchase will go as a donation for their senior fund class of 2023. And finally, I wanted to share a video with you about ALICE simulation that we conducted at Universal Academy. As you know, we have been conducting some advanced safety trainings to combat a situation of a violent intruder into schools. We are using ALICE system, ALICE. And here's a little bit more information about ALICE and the training that took place at Universal Academy in Detroit last week. All our academies have gone through ALICE training, and their ALICE ready will continue to prepare our students and staff every year continuously. This simulation and training has become or is becoming part of our annual traditions or procedures. Here we go.
So today, the students here at Universal Academy in Detroit will be doing their first ever ALICE live simulation. All the students and the staff members have been educated and trained on what to do in case of an active shooter situation. Again, this is something we take very, very seriously. We want to make sure our students and our staff know how to deal with a situation like this. We always pray that nothing like this ever comes to light, but it's always better to be prepared because, you know, we never know when anything like this could happen.
We initiated the ALICE training today at Universal Academy. It went really well. Everyone followed directions. All students, all staff, they all collaborated. We have had the drill for evacuation. We had the drill for barricading. Everyone has done an awesome job. Thank you.
It was great. I am honored that you guys included us in your drill. I was quite impressed with the students. They knew to barricade the door, move out the way of line of sight. So they've had really good training, and I'm impressed as well.
It's training, but sometimes it can be real. So So we need to do it for real, not for fake. I felt safe when I did the training because it made me feel safer. So when a real one comes, I feel prepared and I feel safe.
It's a shame that we have to go through these trainings in this day and age, but we do, and the kids did an excellent job. I think everyone took it very serious. I believe the first floor was evacuated in under a minute. So I think everybody did a great job, staff included. I think it turned out really good.
Okay, with that, we come to an end to our broadcast of this week. Thank you again, Abdullah from LAHC. We look forward to see you again in the next session. And if you have any questions at any time, please feel free to contact us directly at the school or at LAHC. We will connect you with them too if you don't have their information. The flyers that were shared in the beginning of the episode will also be posted on our social media. And have a great weekend. Thank you, Omnia.
Thank you. Thank you.
HES academies have been serving the Detroit metro area for over 23 years, promoting academic excellence, leadership, and cultural diversity, ranking as some of the top schools in the state of Michigan. Our pre-K through 12th grade students enjoy tuition-free, state-accredited education by STEM certified and highly qualified staff with no geographical restrictions. and with advanced placement, college dual enrollment, scholarship, and Arabic language programs. Noor International Academy in Sterling Heights at niapsa.org. Star International Academy in Dearborn Heights and in Canton at starpsa.org. Universal Academy in Detroit at universalpsa.org. And Universal Learning Academy in Westland at ulapsa.org. Join HES Academies today and enjoy a free Chromebook for every enrolled student.